And welcome back to the Financially Simple Experience. So friends, today I want to talk about key performance indicators, but I want to work in the context of using KPIs to drive your business to the 8-figure exit. That's what we're working toward. We want to leave our business someday for 8 figures or more. We want to see 8 figures in our bank account or more, and it can happen, but it's not going to happen on accident. So today's title is KPIs that drive you toward the 8-figure exit. As we think about the title, though, we have to understand the language in the title. First of all, what is a key performance indicator? A key performance indicator. KPIs, as I'm going to say throughout the episode today, are a quantifiable measure of performance over a time for a specific objective. Let me say it again. It's a quantifiable, it's a certainty. You can look at the data point. It's a quantifiable measure of performance over a specific time for a specific objective. That's what a KPI is. We're going to talk about specific KPIs that you can use in your practice. Now, just like the previous episodes, we're looking at the financial advisory space, but perhaps you're not a financial advisor. You can use the content for today's episode for your particular business. It is universal in application. When we're looking at KPIs, they provide targets for your team to aim for, to shoot for. You're trying to give them a destination, something that they can aspire to achieve, a milestone or a gauge of progress. It provides insight for people to make decisions within the company. That's what a KPI is. There was recently I read a post that said, what gets measured gets improved. What you measure, you can improve upon. If you aren't measuring it, you can't improve it. You're simply just flying by the seat of your pants. You're literally sticking your finger, as the old country folks do. You're going to lick your finger and stick it in the air and try to figure out which way the wind is blowing. And if you've ever used that method, you realize how much of a fallacy it can be, especially if you're trying to deer hunt or elk hunt. Holy cow. I was elk hunting this last year, bow hunting in Colorado, and I was in a gorge, and you stick your finger in the wind at one point, or use a scent indicator, the wind would blow to the east. You take 2 steps, the wind would blow to the north. You take 2 more steps, it would blow to the west. It was crazy how the wind would blow. So using a key performance indicator allows you, like I had to do, was look at the prevailing wind off my digital systems to determine ultimately which way would the wind finally settle down and blow. The KPI gives you the data to help you make decisions. So is it a metric? Not exactly. So I'm getting a little technical here. Oftentimes people say KPIs and metrics, and they'll blend those together in the same conversation. KPIs are the key targets you should track to make the most impact of your strategic business outcomes. KPIs support the strategy and help your team focus on what is important. So for example, a KPI may be targeting new customers per month. Hey, I want to achieve 40 new customers per month. That could be a KPI. A metric measures the success of everyday business activities that support KPIs. So for example, the number of monthly store visits or the number of monthly white paper downloads, which support the targeted new customers per month. The key performance indicator is the quantifiable measuring point, whereas the metric are the little things that help quantify the KPI. So the way I describe it to my children is we're talking about KPIs. Yes, I teach my kids all about business. I tell them, look, the KPI is like the roof on a house, and the metric is the walls that hold the roof up. I hope that helps you make sense technically. So let's think about then KPIs that the financial advisory business owner should track. These to me are baseline KPIs that we have to know in order for us to make decisions as it relates to our business. One of the first things you need to know is the average revenue per employee. The average revenue per employee. Now, this is uniform. This is not just the financial advisory space. In every business, in every space, there is an average revenue per employee KPI that can be measured. Now, according to the Charles Schwab 2022 RA benchmark study, If we're looking at RIAs that are within $250 million to $500 million of assets under management, they have an average revenue per employee of roughly $330,000 on the low side. On the high side, about $700,000 of revenue. So if you split the difference, you're about $500,000 of revenue per employee if you fall between the $250 million to $500 million of AUM. That's the data point that so many business owners miss. Now, if you look at the study, the larger the company, the greater the revenue per employee should be. Why? Because you gain scale. What I often see is as companies grow, not only the financial advisory space, but as other companies grow, the amount of employees grow with the company, and therefore they lose the average revenue per employee scale that larger companies often have. Why? Because they're not willing to take the necessary adjustments in other areas of the company to reduce or to increase the average revenue per employee. So to me, that one number can tell you when you need to hire a new employee or when you need to terminate employees, just with that one number. It is a KPI that every financial advisor, business owner should be tracking. But it's just not that. There's some others. One of the things you might look at from an operational standpoint is the number of new service requests per month or per quarter. And then how many of those are completed each month or each quarter. So if you have 200 service requests, they could be from beneficiary changes, they could be from a trade, they could be from cash move. It could be a number of things that you're dealing with. You want to look at how many service requests per quarter and then how many of those are completed per quarter. Why? It's going to allow you to determine when to hire or terminate additional client relationship associates, those individuals who are handling the service request. It also is going to magnify if you have a problem in your processes. If you're having to touch the same piece of information 2 and 3 and 4 times, there's a problem in your process. So by tracking this KPI, you can look and drive efficiency and profitability and ultimately drive yourself to the 8-figure exit. Another KPI that, in my opinion, every financial advisor should be tracking is the number of households per advisor. The number of households per advisor. The number of households per admin person. Maybe you call them an offer manager or a client relationship associates. You're looking for the number of households that every person is managing. Friends, inevitably, when I dive into any business, I start looking at customer segmentation. The rule of 80-20 applies consistently across the board. 80% of your revenue is derived from 20% of your clients. If you were to rank your clients in terms of revenue, which I know has fallacy in and of itself, but if you rank your clients in terms of revenue, the bottom 20% end up taking up greater than 20% of the time of your operations team, of your advisor, your CRAs, your offer managers, whatever term you use within your particular business. So by looking at the number of households and the number of service requests, you can determine the efficiency of your client makeup. Those are key KPIs that every executive should be monitoring within their business. You want to dive in and look at the KPI of revenue per meeting. Revenue per meeting. How much revenue is being generated from that meeting? Let's say that the average advisor is managing $1 million and they're having 1,000 meetings a year. Okay, we have a data point now. We know that every meeting is worth X number of dollars. In this case, it'd be $10,000. If all of a sudden now we're meeting with clients that consistently are yielding us $10 per meeting, $20 per meeting, $100 per meeting, then we have clients that are inefficient. We have clients that are causing us not to reach our 8-figure exit. It's just causing noise within the machine. It's an unneeded position. So you want to track revenue per meeting. Another thing you want to track is net new revenue per month or per quarter. How is your company growing in comparison to the industry? These are data points you want to know. The reason why net new revenue per month or per quarter comes into play is because it shows the efficiency of your marketing and sales team. You can see if the funnels that you have in place are accurate or not. If you're not getting net new revenue, then why? If we're spending money on marketing, but we're not getting net new revenue, then we have a problem. If we're spending money on marketing and our net new revenue is not at least meeting or providing us an equalization within 18 months, notice I said within 18 months there, then we have a problem on our marketing plan. So that's a KPI that we in the financial world should be tracking. Another one is average number of meetings per advisor. Average number of meetings per advisor. My buddy Michael Kitces with Nerd's Eye View He did some research and they discovered that 27 hours per week is all that an advisor spends on client service. That includes meeting preparation, planning, et cetera, et cetera. So on a 40-hour work week, we have 13 hours of an advisor's time that is not directly revenue generating. That's not in helping clients. The one thing we're paid to do is help clients. That's significant. So we want to track the average number of meetings per advisor so we can see, hey, are our advisors, are we efficient with how we're servicing our clients? What I'm noticing through my research is advisors are their own enemies when it comes to profitability and efficiency. We have this innate responsibility to help somebody who's not paying us because we know we can. And in doing so, we lose efficiency and we want to make more money, but we're our own worst enemy in the fact that we're doing work for free. And friends, I get it. I have a heart just like everybody else does. In fact, I'm a big teddy bear when it comes to helping people. I'll get the shirt off my back. If we're not tracking KPIs like we're outlining here, are we truly going to meet our 8-figure exit? Let me give you another KPI. How many financial plans are completed each month? How many active planning relationships do we have? What are the number of financial planning relationships terminated each month? This is KPIs that you would track if you're a financial planning shop, that you're charging a fee for financial planning. There are 3 different KPIs there that I would recommend you track. How about this one? What is the average revenue generated per CFP hour in a financial planning relationship? There are many financial planning shops out there that charge a planning fee that basically use financial planning as a loss leader to get assets. To me, that makes no sense. If you're going to provide a product or service, that product or service should provide you with a profitable division. Financial planning should be a profitable division, and it can be. It certainly can be. In order for it to be a profitable division, you're going to have to track how many hours of revenue generating time the CFP is implementing in the financial planning process. What you will discover is that you have somebody that you can bill out at $300, $400, $500 an hour doing paraplanner work, which you can't bill out a paraplanner at $300, $400, $500 an hour. You end up having somebody with extreme technician that's doing data entry. As one business owner one time told me, hey, look, man, if you want to get paid $20 an hour, then do $20 an hour work. If you want to get paid $500 an hour, then do $500 an hour work. So if we're not tracking the average revenue generated per CFP hour, then how do we know if that CFP is doing the hourly work that they should be doing? We need to track these things. Another ones you can track is the number of new accounts, number of distribution, the average account size. Let's think about this. If we don't have new accounts coming in or new clients coming into the firm, and we have an excess of distribution, then what we're going to see is the overall book value will be declining. A declining book is not going to carry the same multiple as an increasing book. If we have new gross deposits going in and our net new asset flow every month is increasing, then when we go to sell the practice in the future, an increasing value of net new assets brings a higher multiple than a decreasing value of net new assets. But we have to track it. We have to know, is our book comprised for the 8-figure exit? What are the number of new households per each period, per quarter, per month? What are the number of new accounts? What's the firm's gross revenue per advisor? Friends, these to me are baseline KPIs that we should be tracking if we're dealing with a financial advisory practice. You say, Justin, I'm not in a financial advisory practice. None of that stuff made sense to me. Here's the reality. I just rattled off a couple of dozen KPIs for specifically the financial advisory practice. The reality is, in your particular industry, your particular NAIC code, your particular industry has KPIs that will, if you track them and you enact upon the data, it will drive you to the 8-figure exit. Friends, business is not subjective. It is super easy whenever you sit back and you have the right data. It's easy in the fact that you can make decisions. Now, the decisions themselves are hard, and the repercussions of the decisions can be painful, but the business in and of itself is not complex. It's pretty simple. So let me ask you, are you tracking key performance indicators in your company? You're like, dude, you just blew my mind. I have no idea where to even start. Sweet. Reach out to us. We've helped financial advisory firms. We've helped business owners nationally develop a strategy to reach the 8-figure exit. We know how to drive value in a company. If you need help, reach out to us. We can help you. Till the next time, friends, I hope you're able to take this information, implement it in your practice, implement it in your business so that you can reach the 8-figure exit. Hey, y'all go out and make it a great day.